Good evening, Bath. How are we doing? What a delight it is to see each and every one of you. When I got booked for this gig, I said, listen, are you going to do it as proper theatrical seating? And they went, no, we're going to have everyone sat at Anglo-Saxon feasting tables, yeah. That's how we're going to do it. Like, everyone, no, for no reason whatsoever. We'll have 3 couples down the front who look like they should be in an Italian piazza on a date. For some reason, and brilliant, but you're going to have it kind of like in a low-ceiling comedy club. It's like, no, we'll put it in a room that makes it look like the top of the bill is going to be the Phantom of the Opera. It is fucking remarkable. Hello, front row. This is an adorable front row. This is great. You two look like you're here bitching about your ex-partners. It is great. You are. Oh. Fucking lovely. Well, there's the extra content after the show. Fucking lovely. And I'll level with you, ladies and gentlemen. Early doors, I do like to find that alpha male in the room. And Ben, there you are. Look at you, my friend. Look at you. You look like you ejaculate hammers. Just... every time. Your missus's womb must look like Thor's potting shed. It is fucking incredible. Look at you, my friend. You look like you ejaculate crayons. That is a... That was beautiful. Hazel just whispered to me, he did do geography at uni. That is... fucking yes, mate. Oh my God. You may as well have a fucking ring through your nose and they're going, come on, follow me. Off we go, back to the dungeon with you. That was beautiful, because Hazel just did a little tap on the shoulder, whereas what she really wanted to do was a fucking ruffle of the hair, didn't she? Who's my good boy? Who's my good boy? Mate, I reckon you're the same as me. You're a little hairy man. We're not fucking alpha males like these go. Look, you're a hunter-gatherer, aren't you? We're not. We're hoarder-burrowers. That's what we are. Oh, yeah. Like, if we were living 20,000 years ago on the Serengeti Plains, these two would be off chasing gazelles. You and me would be following behind going, would you like to see the wine list? That's all we've got. That's all we've got, Josh. I can't do the most basic man things. You might be the same. Don't know how to wire a plug? My dad taught me. He went, right, Ben, this plug's got 3 wires. This one's earth. What are the other 2? I don't know, wind and fire? I haven't got a... Can't ride a bike? 36 years old, I cannot ride a bike. I've got all the balance of a Daily Mail article on immigration. Well done, you like that a lot more than they did in Kent. Last time I tried to ride a bike, I went up a hill, downhill, went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour until I realised I don't know how brakes work. And apparently furiously ringing the bell doesn't help at all. And I panicked, slammed on the brakes, flew over the handlebars and scraped all the flesh from the palms of my hands. I know, it looked like I just wanked off the Tin Man. It was, horrible stuff. And listen, you know, when you're a wee little beta male, you sometimes become a bit of a bleeding heart liberal, which I am. But before I did this for a living, I used to be a street charity fundraiser. But don't worry, I was a nice one. You had a good line, I let you pass. Day 1, working for the Samaritans. Went up to a punt and went, hello, pal. You heard of the Samaritans? And he went, yup, their last album was shit. Fair enough, through you go. Through you go. But the thing is, I'm trying to be more alpha, and the reason is because about 16 months ago, me and my wife successfully manufactured a brand new human being. That was beautiful. That was a room full of people assessing me and going, you should not breed. I've made a good one. I've made a good one. I had no fucking skin in the game of doing that. You know, I know, like, when you're having sex, it's not like making a custom player on FIFA, is it? You know, swing your hips to the right and you do eye colour, swing them to the left and you do hair colour, going, oh, baby. Oh, I came on, it was stuck on ginger. Delete. And not that I didn't have it before, but seeing labour up close and personal, ladies, hats off to you. My wife was in labour for 58 hours. Yeah, it was harrowing. She gave birth last June. I missed 3 World Cup group games. It was, I mean, I love my son, but Costa Rica versus South Korea. Come on, Josh. No, it was tough, man. 58 hours. Epidural failed. Forceps. Exorcism. You know things are getting bad when your wife's vagina starts talking in Latin. Is she dilating? She's fucking conjugating. That's what she's doing down there. And I was freaking out in the corner, and the midwives were legends. They could see, and they're like, right, what you need to do, here's some scissors. When he comes out, snip the umbilical cord. Got to the moment, little voice in my head went, you need to say something poignant. Yeah, what actually came out of my mouth were the words, I now declare this baby open. Very proud of little Morrison's Asda Tesco van der Velde. What a kid. Did what any of you would do. Rang at my pals, went to start, little boy. Little man, 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Don't know why I told him his fucking weight like he's a tiny boxer. There's no other point in your life where you do that. It's my Auntie Margaret. She passed away. 15 stone 9. Oh, we can't afford another pallbearer. We'll have to get a winch for the old bat. That's the only way to do it. And he comes with so much paraphernalia. Now, where's the ladies who've just been given birth in the baby group? Is it this table? Yeah, cool, lovely stuff, because you look sterile. But but it's amazing, like, the little, like... How was the gig? Pretty good, until a hobbit got the shit kicked out of him by some very angry women. Like, my little man, he's about that big when he was born. He's got everything from, got the nappies and the talcum powder and the little cage that you keep him in. And the one thing I could never understand, baby oil. Right? I don't know about you, Josh. I've never looked at a baby and thought, that needs more oil. Why would you oil a baby? I know what Ben's thinking, to eat it, you know. Bit of rosemary, some salt and pepper. Tapas. Nom 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 nom. Only other reason I think to oil a baby is that it makes it slightly more difficult to steal. Oh, I think I'll get this little fucker. That's out the window. That is gone. Gone forever. And I'm trying, the thing is now, being a dad, I want to make the world a better place for him, and I can't. I know I've not got that ability, so I'm like, right, I'm going to prepare him for the shithouse of the 2020s that he's got coming up. So I'm singing him realistic nursery rhymes, stuff like, London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down, London Bridge is falling down because of climate-based subsidence. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, antibiotics will fail to work after 2027. The wheels on the rail replacement bus service go round and round. Learned things since I become a daddy. Is the thing I learned. My wife breastfed him, got a little bit sore, so she used cabbage leaves to alleviate the swelling. She didn't tell me about this, right? So first I found out about it. She was getting ready for bed, undid a bra, and a single solitary Savoy cabbage leaf made its way seductively down her body like some sort of vegan striptease. I'm just delighted that when her knickers came off, a pair of Brussels sprouts didn't roll across the bedroom floor. But he's lucky. He's got a good mum. My wife is a lawyer, so well done me. Don't know if anyone else in here works in performing arts, but if you do, thoroughly recommend marrying a grown-up. Yeah, that's great. I'll get home tonight. It'll be about 1 a.m. I'll look down at a beautiful, curvaceous shape, and I'll think, oh, there she is. There's my little pension plan. And she is. She's the adult in our relationship. If our relationship were a car, then my wife would be the engine, the brake pedals, and the steering wheel, and I would be the novelty air freshener swinging from the rear-view mirror. Some of you are looking at me going, I didn't realise that Lord Farquaad did stand-up comedy now. Other people thinking I didn't realise that they played professional snooker in Middle-earth. But anyway. But she's a good one, my wife. She's a Scottish lady. We got any Scottish people in? That's a no. Good. What part of Scotland are you from? Dundee. Now, my wife is from a slightly posher part of Scotland called the rest of it. No, she's very posh. You can tell she's posh and Scottish because she likes deep-fried Ferrero Rocher. And glorious lady. We had a cracking wedding a few years ago. Trick of the good wedding, I think, you find, is compromise on everything. We agreed on everything. The food, the venue, the guest list. The one thing we didn't agree on was the music. There's a very good reason for that. It's because I have phenomenal taste in music, whereas my wife's taste in music is this close to a learning disability. And some people think that's an all right punchline. Some people are already drafting angry letters to The Guardian in their head. That is, listen, I'll explain. Karmically, I am allowed to tell that joke. About a year ago, I did a charity gig for the charity MenCap, lovely charity for adults and children with learning disabilities. About 70% of the room in that gig had some form of learning disability. And when that happens, friends, you get some pretty left-field heckles. Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. When someone with a learning disability heckles you, as a professional comedian, you cannot put them down. Sorry, that's an awful choice of vocabulary. Anyway, I was chatting to a lad in the front row. His name was Ricky. He was wearing a rugby shirt. He had Down syndrome, and he was a little legend. And I went, Ricky, mate, do you like rugby? And he went, yes, Ben. Yes, I do. And I said, brilliant. And how many games of rugby have you watched in your life? And he said, well, I don't know, because I'm not dead yet. And that's the story of how I died at a MenCap gig. But here's the thing, you'll agree with me, she's got awful taste in music. Like, first gig I took her to, Toots and the Maytals, brilliant reggae band. They came out, I started having a little skank like this, enjoying the syncopated rhythms of Jamaica. My missus turned to me and went, why are you Morris dancing? And because she likes X Factor bullshit, and I hate the sob stories people going, well, Simon, I'm here for my terminally ill nana who says I've got the voice of an angel, and what are you going to sing for a Chardonnay? I'm going to sing Christina Aguilera's Use Me Like a Fuck Puppet. It's not... Here's the song we fell out about. You all know it. It's a song called Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams. And I said, I love you, but I'm not having a song by Canada's second worst musical artist on our special day. And she said, fine. Well, who was Canada's worst musical artist? And I said, well, obviously, Celine Dion. And that is why 2.5 years ago today, I walked down the aisle to Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman. Things have changed since we got married. No longer get birthday presents. We get each other birthday experiences. Yeah, so what do you think of the last experience she got me? She got me a session with a personal trainer. It's a bit of a backhanded slap, isn't it, Josh? It's a bit like going, happy birthday, Grandma, have a shovel. But it was a good lad, went to the gym, discovered that I have 30% body fat. Now, as you all know, human beings are made of 70% water. Means that technically I am a Tesco value sausage. It's not the sort of mixed race I want to be, my friends. And I am a mixed race person. I know in this part of the world being mixed race means your mum's from Gloucester and your dad's from Chippenham, but I know I'm proper mixed race because I'm Jewish and Geordie. Yeah, I'm a Jew Geordie, which is the opposite of a Judge Judy. Any Jews in? Near the exit, clever, never forget. I like that nervous fucking silence after I asked that question. Any Jews in? Have we wandered into the Labour Party conference? What is, Oh, the Tory conference, they're racist cunts too. I'll level with you. I'm not a very good Jew. Like, I'm really not. Like, I don't believe in God. And if you want to believe in God, that's fine. And if you don't want to believe in God, that's correct. I'd say I'm Jewish with a small j, in the way that some people are conservative with a small c, and Donald Trump is white supremacist with 3 small k's. And listen, it's tricky being part of the Jew crew in the 21st century. Yeah, the Jew crew, that's our street name. Yeah, you fuck with us, we'll ruin your accounts. Like, my mate tried to get himself a nice Jewish bride, went on Tinder, didn't work, so we went on a Jews-only dating app called J-Swipe, which is a horribly named app. It sounds like a sanitary product for rabbis, doesn't it? They're there in the gym working out. Oi, vey, oi, vey, oi, vey, kosher. But the way J-Swipe works is very similar to Tinder. You swipe right, and then the girl swipes right, and then both your mothers swipe right. And I think we could rock it out for other religions. You could have Catholic Tinder, where you go up, down, left, and right. And then there's just a picture of the Pope going, no. Amish Tinder. If you were on Amish Tinder, you'd go, that's my wife. That's my wife. There's also, well, the thing about Amish, the Amish wouldn't have Tinder, would they, really? Because the Amish don't really like technology. So Amish Tinder really would actually be just a window with a series of women in bonnets walking past. And when you see one that you like, you grab your shepherd's crook and it's like hook a duck at the fun fair. There you go. Meet your sisters. Sorry, that's not a punchline. That's a Louis Theroux documentary over there, isn't it? I don't need to feel like I'm ragging on religion. There is good stuff from religion, like the Holy Books, Old Testament, bit of a banger. Not a fan of the New Testament, the whole story of how God came down to earth to live amongst us and hang out to give us salvation. It's a little bit secret millionaire for my liking. And of course, there's the Quran, which I think is pretty tasteless and quite clearly man-made. Sorry, Quorn. Quorn is... It's really easy to mix those up because Mo Farah loves both of them. Not as much as he loves steroids. Oh, not our Sir Mo. Well, they're not laughing at that. I was lucky enough to do a gig in Oslo a few years ago, did that joke, and I discovered something. What I discovered is that they do not sell corn in Norway. Yeah. I just had 200 angry Vikings looking at each other going, do you know what, Hank? I think Frodo's a bit of a racist. But there's good stuff from religion, like prayer. I like prayer, it's meditative. That's why we do it so much. Like Jews pray 3 times a day, Muslims pray 5 times a day, Christians pray when they want something, and Catholics prey on small children. Not entirely convinced a pitter-patter of applause is the right response to that joke, but thanks all the same. Like, we do weird shit as well, of course we do. Famously, we circumcise our boys. I don't remember that bit of the Bible that said, I shall make man in my image. Apart from that bit, I want that bit back. And that conversation in God and Abraham must have been so weird. Abraham, I would like you and your descendants to be my chosen people. Brilliant. What would you like in response? I would like all of the foreskin. At which point you'd have thought Abraham's natural Jewish ability to haggle would kick in, wouldn't you? Like, fuck it, maybe it did. Maybe the conversation went, what do you want? I want your leg. Will you accept my foreskin? Done. And what does he want them? If we die and go to heaven and Jesus is there showing us around going, welcome to heaven, over there's the jacuzzi, that's the tennis courts to your right. Jesus, mate, what's that massive warehouse over there? It's nothing. Jesus, what's in the warehouse? It's Dad's foreskin collection. You open up the doors and there's just rolling hillocks of man calamari as far as the eye can see. God's there like Scrooge McDuck at the start of DuckTales. I want to point out, my objection to circumcision, purely moral, like aesthetically. Ladies, I think a circumcised penis looks smart casual, you know? You know, roll neck down, looks a little bit like a French philosopher, doesn't it? Yeah, obviously you don't want your dick to behave like a French philosopher, you know, come on Jean-Pierre, time for some sex, but what is the point? Hard thing for me and my missus is like, are we going to get our little one circumcised? Because it's tradition, but I think it's barbaric. And in the end, we've compromised. We've agreed that we will get him circumcised, but only if he doesn't tidy his room. I think that is... But it's tricky, all these weird rumours pop up with every religion because there's weird stuff in them. Like when I was at school, kids used to go, Ben, when Jews have sex, do you do it through a hole in a sheet? Which is not true, but the logistics used to baffle me. So it's like, right, get the girl home, clothes come off, you're about to go for it, then you've got to go, sorry, love, I'm just off to the linen cupboard. And then you open it up, you throw the sheet over yourself, Egyptian cotton, ironically, and then you're no longer having sex, are you? You're now in a horrifying episode of Scooby-Doo. If you really want to spice things up, just before you orgasm, you could go, I was the caretaker all along. You know, if you lose your erection, you could go, would have got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky kicks. No, you can't say that. I'm amazed me and my missus are still together. I really am. Like, because the first time you get together in the bedroom, right, I'm sure you agree with me, Josh, first time you get together with a prospective partner, it's a bit like a job interview, isn't it? You know, you want to do well. And it didn't work for me, you know. In the first time we got together in the bedroom, how can I say, like in a brief survey after the event, 50% of the people involved described themselves as satisfied. You know, but I was looking into my wife's eyes. They were locked together, and our genitalia was locked together. My naked mole rat was nuzzling inside her warm burrow. Fuck off, Bath. That is poetry. When my missus did something I'll never forgive her for, she looked me romantically in the eyes, and she sneezed. and she fired my little man out of her in what can best be described as a vaginal Heimlich maneuver. Thing is, as we all know from physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So she fired me out at a rate of knots. I headbutted her in the face. Luckily, she is Scottish, and that is how they mate. Ladies and gentlemen of Bath, you have been peculiar. Before I go, I'm just going to tell you about my favourite audience members I've met in 2019. It was a couple from Carlisle I met after a gig there in their 70s or 80s. After the gig, the husband came up to me and went, right, here's a joke for you. How can you tell when a woman from Carlisle has an orgasm? She drops her chips. At which point, his wife turned to him and said, well, I've never dropped my chips. What an absolute queen of a lady and what an absolute peach of a gig. You've got a belter of a headline ahead of you. I've been Ben van der Velde. See you again soon. Night-night.